welcome to Ukrainian Crisis Media Center. We'll have the press briefing of the spokesman for the Information and Analytical Center of the Council for National Security and Defense, Colonel Andriy Lsenko.
To Ukraine Crisis Media Center today. We're going to have a press briefing by the spokesperson for the Information and Analytical Center of the National Security and Defense Council of Ukraine, Colonel Andriy Lsenko.
Good afternoon, dear colleagues. We have good news today. At around 1:40 a.m., the Russian side has handed over to Ukrainian border guards 5 military servicemen from Brigade 72 who were illegally detained on the territory of the Russian Federation. It happened at the border checkpoint Milovo, Luhansk region. All of them are in safe places now, and every serviceman of Brigade 72 who remained loyal to his oath and performed his duty will be commended by a state order. In the nearest future, the brigade will be reinforced by arms and machinery, also with officers who have a combat experience, and after the necessary medical and psychological rehabilitation, the soldiers and officers will go on leave. The encirclement of Donetsk becomes narrower. It is maximum narrow at the moment. Ukrainian armed forces inflicted fire strikes on the points of resistance. There is a panic and chaos in the ranks of militants. There are mass cases of desertment, and they have only one way out to save their lives, to lay down their arms and surrender. The Ukrainian armed forces have 30 times exchanged fire with terrorists in the vicinity of the following settlements: Miusinsk, Krasne, Mayorske, Debaltsevo, Kamenka, Vesela, Tarasevka, Ambrosivka, Stukalov, Balka, Zhote, Gaive, and so on. Ukrainian border checkpoints and settlements are being continuously fired upon from the territory of Russian Federation. Yesterday, from 9 to 9:20 p.m., from the vicinity of the Russian village Monotsky, Ukrainian border guards' positions in Luhansk region were fired upon. Also yesterday, from 1 to 2 p.m., the Russians have 3 times fired at border points in Ambrosivka, Donetsk region from artillery and Grad batteries. Then they also fired at Illinka, Donetsk region, Miusinsk, Petropavlivka, and Dyakovo, Luhansk region. They were firing from the Russian villages Marfinka, Dubrovka, and Seleznevka. Yesterday we told you about the night shelling from the Russian territory of a border checkpoint in the village of Milovo, Luhansk region. Besides a 5-time firing and shelling from anti-infantry flamethrowers Shmel from the side of Russian Federation. They have launched landmines from a distance, and they hope that Ukrainian bodyguards, while retreating, will be in the trap. I also draw your attention that our border garrison here is in the very center of the settlement of Milovo, so the peaceful population could suffer as well. And Milovo is 100 kilometers away from the zone of combat actions. Yesterday, the Russian Air Force continued to violate the airspace of Ukraine. Yesterday at 5 p.m. at the border point Krasnotalivka, Luhansk region, two Russian helicopters Mi-22 penetrated the Ukrainian territory for 2 kilometers in the direction of Blagoveshchenka, Luhansk region. At around 10 p.m., a border patrol found two Russian drones that were moving in the direction of Ukrainian villages Chaplinka and Makarivka, Kherson region. There's also we found out that 10 railway carriages with artillery trucks and 30 APCs are in districts adjacent to Sumska region. In Volnovakha district, Donetsk Oblast, the Ukrainian armed forces found, while searching one of the passenger cars, they found a lot of explosives, over 130 kilos in TNT equivalent, and also hidden grenades. The explosives were diffused. Yesterday in Zaporizhia region, the Security Service of Ukraine detained very dangerous terrorists, among whom were the leader and members of the subversive group of Horlivka bandit formation. They went to Zaporizhia from Donetsk in order to gather intelligence information and do subversive acts. Yesterday, during the phone conversation with Joseph Biden, Petro Poroshenko informed the former about his initiative about providing Ukrainian and involving international humanitarian help for Luhansk under the auspices of the International Committee of Red Cross, and also suggested that USA join it. Joe Biden said that he supports the efforts of Ukraine to provide humanitarian help in the strict accordance to international law, and including exclusion of any foreign military convoy of this mission. And he also gave a high assessment of the continuity of the steps of President of Ukraine, where the settlement of a situation in Donbass is concerned. During his phone conversation with Angela Merkel, Petro Poroshenko also drew her attention to efforts of Ukrainian powers to provide humanitarian help to the cities that have suffered as a result of the actions of terrorists. Angela Merkel said that Germany and her allies stick to the point that any humanitarian mission should be sent exclusively according to the international law through the channels of UN or International Red Cross, and only when it is agreed with the Ukrainian side. Our position is clear. Any intrusion, even if it is called humanitarian, is intrusion, and this is the red line that no state should cross. What about the situation around Krasny Luch city? How important this city is for the further development of the operation? Yes, it is true. Krasny Luch has a very great importance, because if this point is occupied, then it provides for the blockade. It will be possible to block the roads through which the terrorists are receiving help from abroad. At the moment, there are combat actions in positions. As soon as this town is liberated from terrorists, we will tell you. It is very hot at the moment, and our military are doing everything to liberate the town as soon as possible, and they are sticking to every rule of liberating person, so that the peaceful people don't suffer. Yesterday, the Donetsk People Republic said that they are ready to stop fire, to cease fire, to avoid further complication of humanitarian catastrophe, disaster. If there's an initiative, there's, practical steps. They may raise white flags and lay down their arms, and after this they are not being shot at. So far we haven't seen any practical steps. What about the freed officers? What's their moral and physical state? Are they ready to go to war again? And whether Russia has removed any accusations. For several days they were kept in prison, trying to get the information that they were using illegal arms and used them against local peaceful residents, but all the accusations were not corroborated. The Ukrainian officers have withstood this pressure. Nothing was proved. That's why the investigative committee of the Russian Federation had to say that there are no crimes behind those officers, and they were meant to be released. However, the Russian side made a statement yesterday, but in reality they freed them only during the night. At the moment, their physical state is satisfactory. They are in a place where they can get any kind of help, including psychological. Those are combat officers. No one has betrayed their state. They showed the example of restraint and bravery. So after a short pause, they will be taken to the place where they can relax, and then back again to the front, because there's plenty of possibilities to use their combat experience. Any other questions? Thank you.